to True Wellness Conversations. It's Thursday at 3. We are here and our new topic. We're on a new series this week. We are talking about the immune system and the gut. What happens when your immune system stops tolerating and you end up with that autoimmune diagnosis or label? My name is Jo Coburn. I'm sitting here in Western New York. I'm a functional wellness practitioner. I love linking arms with people who are stuck in symptoms because maybe they got hit with something, maybe it's infectious, the flu, whatever it is, and they just haven't felt great since then. And before I let my two panelists here introduce themselves, we are not your personal medical physicians, and nothing we say today, please don't take it as medical advice. Take it as education, inspiration, and empowerment so you can get to the root of what's going on with your health. So go ahead, ladies, Dr. Deb and Kelly, introduce yourselves.
Are we sure we're live? Because the little thing didn't come on the screen that said recording.
It's recording.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, technology. We didn't want to do all this and be like, oh, we don't have anything. Hi, I am Dr. Deborah Bowers, and I am a functional medicine practitioner and pharmacist in York, South Carolina, which is about 45 minutes southwest of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I help people who are told they are fine, but they don't feel fine, and they are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Kelly Lutman. I'm a functional wellness practitioner located outside of New Orleans. I work with people locally, but also online to work on the gut, because if you've watched us for any amount of time, you know that we focus on what's going on in the gut because it influences the rest of the body, much like autoimmune, but also chronic disease and cancer. I support cancer patients to support the rest of their body through treatment. I don't deal with the cancer, but my concern is that the whole body gets the treatment. And if you're not protecting the good cells, you're going to have more challenges.
Awesome. All right. So I know that a lot of times autoimmunity is just simplified down to an overactive immune system, but that's really not a complete definition. Right? It just doesn't hit like everything that we know.
It's not overactive. It's doing exactly what the body thinks it's supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. It's just aiming the wrong way.
Yeah. Right. Or it's aiming at an area that there's something else going on. There's a deeper issue.
Right. There's a reason. Right.
So when I look at anybody's immune system as a functional medicine practitioner, right, as someone who knows how the function and the interactions happen in the body, we can't discount what's going on in the gut. Right. And we always throw around percentages and things like that. But I know the number that I have in my head from all of the years of education and certifications and trainings is 80% of the immune signals that your immune system get originate in the gut.
Yeah.
So gut support is so relevant. And, I don't want to even oversimplify to say that your gut's the reason why you have autoimmunity, because I don't think that's true either. But, I think having a deeper understanding and having this conversation so people can listen in and go, oh, wait, that's me. Maybe that's part. Because I always call autoimmunity the perfect storm.
Yeah, you have to, usually, there is a genetic component, but just because you have the genetic component doesn't mean that it will develop into autoimmunity. So why is that? Right? Like, think about that. Why would that, right? Why would that be? It's because of the choices, the environment, the things that we're exposed to. That is what is kind of, if you're looking at like a four-legged stool, that's one of the legs.
Yeah. And
that
I mean, everybody, they've done the studies, right, with identical twins, right?
Mhm.
And one, you know, ages gracefully and with, not a lot of chronic issues, and the other one's got this label and that label and the other label, and they don't even
Mhm.
look. I mean, they may have started out identical, but their lifestyle, their choices, the environment they're in now versus, the one that they were brought up in, those things change how the body reacts and responds. Um, so it is one of
I
those
might
that,
actually have a picture of that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it handy.
Yeah, it's
Goes back to
definitely starts
epigenetics.
right. It
Right.
goes, yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to college, I went to college for genetics. I was gonna like go into a research lab and find, we were mapping the genome and we were gonna figure it all out, and it was gonna be the end all be all. And it certainly has shed light, but I think what we've ended up with is more questions instead of more
Mm-hmm.
answers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that, we've come to learn, at least I have as a practitioner, is what one person can tolerate in terms of their environment, their stress, their toxic
Yeah.
load, the number of times you can eat, those fun foods and do all the things and react. The tolerance level on people is way different.
Well,
Did
I
you guys
found
want
it and then it immediately went away as soon as I shared my screen.
We can share it under the video on our
Yeah.
Facebook page
Put it
for
down
people that
underneath.
want to see
That would
it.
be good.
Yeah.
That would be good. But that's tolerance is a word that a lot of people get caught up on.
I'll
Yeah.
share it that way.
There's tolerance in, you know, the way we handle a crowd
Mhm.
and the
Stop sharing
interaction
screen.
we
I was
choose to
trying to be
voice or
helpful. It
not.
just wasn't.
Oops. Um,
We're a little
but then in our
laggy today.
body, tolerance is part of your immune system. It's tolerance is when your immune system has been exposed, but it knows that it can handle that. It knows it's not a massive threat, and so it lets it go. But there comes a point where that tolerance, the immune system is so distracted with other things that it doesn't have tolerance. And then it begins to misread the messages that it's getting. And then you develop into immune,
It thinks it needs to react to everything.
right, an overactive immune system, which is not going around crazy necessarily. It's just responding to things that otherwise it should be tolerant to.
Yeah, there's definitely a checks and balances in the immune system. And we were discussing the regulatory system, like the T cells, which are such an important part of the immune system. And just recently, three scientists won the Nobel Prize for learning how that immune system regulates itself. And that was just last October, right? Like, so, when we say like some of this stuff, it's new, it's evolving, our understanding is getting better and better. But I think every time we learn something new, it raises more questions. Um, and there's definitely ways, when the immune system is trying to tolerate things, that it can fail. And when we lose that tolerance, and it's usually not a single trigger, just like it's not a single cause, it's that perfect storm of triggers. And how many autoimmune conditions have we labeled recently? What are we up to?
When I was little, there were maybe 5, and now it's over 80 and probably growing. Maybe they've hit 100. I don't know. I'm not
I
keeping
think we're
track.
over 100
Well,
now.
and we had chatted before about how it's more of an issue in civilized countries
Mhm.
and more
Mhm.
westernized countries, and it's not something that's seen as widely in other areas of the world. That right there should tell you something.
Yeah, I think the more we expose ourselves to, I call them Franken foods, right? Things that really shouldn't be, but are, right? Like, what is this thing? What is a cheese puff? I mean, if you go deep into the jungles of some of these third world countries, cheese puffs don't exist, right?
Nope.
You're not going to eat a Frito casserole. You're not going to be able to have electric blue sodas and electrolyte mixes. And these are things that they just don't see and
So
Right.
I will
consume.
I'll put a link to this too, because it's funny that we're chatting about this because my husband sent me just like a little clip from a podcast. Um, I think it might have been Joe Rogan's. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back. But anyway, it was talking about how people in the Amazon were given apple juice boxes. And then that just started changing their whole um,
Gene
theology.
expression.
Well, their whole theology on how they eat, and they've survived millions of years in the Amazon jungle, and now it's like they can't. I'm not doing it justice. I will have to find the clip, because it was just like, yeah, the food is actually what we have now is actually engineered. That is somebody's job to make it where you want more. You want
Yeah.
just one more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you read the book Ultra Processed People, that's one of the examples that they share is that, these civilizations, these communities way down the Amazon, very far inland where they don't have a lot of communication with outside areas, Nestle thought they would do them a favor and basically outfitted a barge that went down the river selling food. And within 6 months, they would go down once a month and sell to these indigenous people. And within 6 months, they were seeing type 2 diabetes in the children because they had let, and they didn't want to eat their traditional foods anymore. They wanted that food.
Right.
But it so changed their bodies in that short a period of time that now they were having diseases that were never thought of in the past in those communities. It's like frustrating.
It is so frustrating. And it's so frustrating that, I mean, you don't have to look at the Amazon to see, places where you have food scarcity. How many of our coaches and practitioners that we talk to, that people who are on subsidized meal plans where they only are able to get certain foods? I mean, I talked about families and friends that were on WIC that just wanted to get natural peanut butter without all the hydrolyzed fats and seed oils and things. Couldn't, because WIC would only pay for a 16-ounce jar, and the natural jars were 15.8 ounces. So you couldn't even choose a better option.
Wow.
Right? You weren't allowed to get any peanut butter. You had to get the ones that were at least this size. And so the food companies specifically, right, would put them in sizes that then would restrict.
Wow.
The healthier options would not be available. So, I mean, it's things like that. Why?
Manipulation.
Yeah. That it's those kinds of things, because those seed oils, you can't make those oils without a factory. The Amazon people aren't going to be able to get them, right?
Right.
And peanut butter literally should just be ground peanuts. Maybe a little bit
And a
of
little
salt. Right?
Right.
That's
Well, there's
it.
salt.
But look at your list and what they've added to the peanut butter to make it creamy, to add the sweeteners, to add, whatever emulsifiers. And then once you do
So
that,
you don't have to stir it up.
so you don't have to stir it up. And then once you do that, you have to add in things so it doesn't separate, so it doesn't go bad. And it just, you start adding and adding and adding. And
Yeah.
and then you wonder why the body's reacting.
Mhm.
Why the body's
Yep.
saying this environment inside me is not safe and I need to attack it and get rid of it because that stuff has to go somewhere. It's
Once you
not
start,
benign.
once you start actually eating what I would call real food,
Mm.
and
Which,
then
why
you
do we even have to say it's real food?
Right.
It's
right,
just
Right.
but
food.
right, but what we have isn't real
Right.
food, right?
No.
Like we've
Mm-mm.
got a lot of calories, we've
Yeah.
got a
It's
lot of
food-like substances.
right. But once you
It's
start
food
doing
product.
that and you go back and have something that maybe was a favorite of yours from before,
Okay.
maybe you changed your eating habits, you can literally taste the chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
find I don't like, I just came off a vacation and I did gain 8 pounds. There was a lot of really good food. Um, but some of it was like, I don't even like the taste of that.
It
That's
looks
got,
good, but
Mm-mm.
yeah,
I
right. It's like
remember
you could,
like going back and having like I think it was a Little Debbie snack,
Mm-hmm.
mm,
one of my favorites from childhood, and I was just like, you know what,
Yeah.
I was going to try that. It was like faintly chocolate flavored wax. Like
hmm
it
Mm.
was just so
hmm
bad. And then the inside was so sickly sweet. And then the
Mm-hmm.
film on the inside of my mouth was
mm.
like,
Yeah.
what what is that? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand. And anytime that something comes in, like I have kids, I have young adults, right? We buy things at the grocery store, especially if it's like Super Bowl time and whatever. And we're like, we're just going to get a bunch of these like appetizers that we can throw in the air fryer, right? Or you throw on a cookie
Mm-hmm.
sheet. And the film, the sticky, gummy, whatever on the cookie sheet that will not come off from the fake
Mm.
oils in some of this stuff. And I think you look at that and you go, that's what's inside people's arteries.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's clogging people's digestive tracts. It's not washable and it's not digestible.
hmm
Right.
So, and we talk about digestion, but that is where the digestive system, we've said this before, right, is really outside of your body. It runs through your body, but your
Mm-hmm.
body has a really good way of sectioning that away from the rest of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a barrier there. And these foods don't just not, gum it up or whatever. It damages it.
Mm-hmm.
And when the damage happens, the immune system, those little bells and whistles and alarms, go off.
Yes. Yes.
It's that
But it
danger.
can be repaired. It
It
can
can
be
be. What do we say?
restored.
What, a
That's the
week,
cool
seven
thing.
days, every 7 days?
The cool thing when you change things,
hmm
because yes, tissue, the cells in your immune system or in your
Your gut.
digestive system change over quickly because there's a lot of action there. And so by making small changes, you can improve things. You can change your taste buds. If you're thinking, oh, I can't survive with all that super sweet stuff, little by little, as you shift out, and I know Deborah's experienced this too, that
hmm
your taste changes to the point where
hmm
I can't even taste a glass of juice, of fruit juice. It is just
hmm
super, super overwhelming sweet,
Yeah.
hmm
and so many of the artificially sweetened products are
God,
likewise, they're super sweet, you know.
so bad.
Um, but
I used to,
but
my
suddenly
favorite
you
snack used to be Doritos and Mountain Dew
mm,
in high
mm
school
mm,
and a
mm
Milky Way.
mhm.
If we went out, we would go bowling for gym class. And I would bring just enough
Now,
money to hit the vending machine to get a bag of Doritos, a Milky Way bar, and a bottle of Mountain Dew. And I can't even
mine,
think about eating those now.
No.
Mine in high school was Taco Bell used to have a chili cheese burrito, and then I would get a Snickers bar and a Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew must have
Mm.
been popular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
remember
I didn't
liking
do
Mountain Dew
Snickers
too.
because
And that was
I couldn't eat
every
peanuts.
day. That was every day.
Yeah.
And we wonder why we all had immune issues and toxicity problems and all the
Yes.
things,
Yes.
right?
But
All
we've
of
turned
that
things
stuff,
around.
right? All of that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, I had a patient yesterday, her symptom score is down to 13, and she was like, has anybody get to 0? And I'm like, well, I'm like, now that I think about it, like mine's 0 most of the time.
Uh-huh.
Like,
yeah.
unless, there's sometimes a fatigue thing when I've overexerted myself or I haven't
Yeah.
followed through with like my normal routines. Like it's always, I can relate it to, oh, I didn't get enough sleep. That's why I had a
Mm-hmm.
headache. Or I didn't drink enough water. That's why I have this or whatever. Right. So, like, I'm like, yeah, like you literally can get to where you don't have any symptoms during the day. It's
Or
not
What
just
with that
something you live
we've
with.
patience?
reframed them, right?
Yeah.
The other thing
Yeah.
is we don't see symptoms as bad. We see
Mm-hmm.
symptoms as the way, just like you said, oh, that headache meant I forgot to drink, that I left my
Hmm.
water bottle at home. I didn't
Right.
drink my water before X time, before I had my cup of coffee. And look at
Right.
what I did. My body is now communicating with me that was a bad choice.
This is my husband.
Hello.
Hey, Shane.
He wants to be on Thursdays at 3, apparently.
There you go. Mine does
The
not.
cool thing is you changed that. And what was that patient's symptom score before you started working at the beginning?
71.
Yeah. So 71 down to 13. For her, it
Hmm.
almost feels like 0, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
Life
not
changing.
numerically there. But
Hmm.
that's the value and the power of looking at the symptom, not as you're broken, but this is a signal, and we follow the signal to find the upstream cause. And then we support the body with what it needs. It's the process we use to help resolve the issues that someone that comes to us is having.
Right. Well, and I think so many people with autoimmune conditions thinks my body is just broken.
Mm-hmm.
I whatever I've done it's too much. It's,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing I can do. I can't boost my immune system because my immune system is broken. And if I boost my immune system or support my immune system, I'm just going to get more of the same broken messages in my body. It's just going to get worse.
Well, it
And that's
could
not.
if you follow the normal medical.
Yeah.
But
I like when patients come to me and they're like, well, I have this and there's not anything I can do about it. And I'm like, that's not really true.
hi.
I was like, they just don't know because they weren't trained in
Right.
this is what you can do about these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they truly don't know. So in their mind, it is true. They just don't know what the alternatives are because they weren't trained.
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
sometimes, I mean, when you have autoimmunity, there's a training that happens to your immune system, right? Where it starts tagging things that should be tolerated as harmful. And
Well,
sometimes there's things that look an awful lot, a lot like, the thyroid tissue, or, if you have, help me with out with some, if you have diabetes, right? And it's pancreatic tissue that it's been
Mm-hmm.
tagged, or if it's skin that's been tagged, or, whatever.
well,
I mean,
I
there's a
also
hundred
think
different tissues that the body can create antibodies against because the immune system just starts over,
Misidentifying.
misidentifying,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right?
well, I feel like in a lot of the autoimmune cases that I've had of late, um, trauma and stress have really
Mhm.
been probably maybe the number one thing that probably started down the road because their body just was in a constant state of I'm running from the bear.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
so it was just always on. And
Mhm.
when it's always on, it's looking for a problem,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
I like using the analogy too for people that have pets, right? It's like your dog goes out and running in the yard and they come in and they're yipping and they're yapping and you realize that they've gotten a thorn stuck in their paw, right? And you're there to try and help and pull it out. But now you're the problem too, right?
Mhm.
And they're
Yeah.
snarling and biting at you and it's your beloved pet and you're
Mhm.
you know just 5 minutes ago we're petting and hugging and snuggling that thing and now it's trying to bite your face off, but there's an irritation there that needs to be
Mhm.
removed, and it's not
Mhm.
pleasant, right? Nobody wants to
Mm-mm.
give up their favorite food or give up
Mm-mm.
something, but in order for that paw to heal you have to take the thorn out.
Mhm.
And when the
Good
dog is in
illustration.
pain and in agony and the stressor is there, it's going to hyper react to anybody that gets near it. And
Mhm.
it's going to guard that. And a
Mhm.
lot of times with autoimmunity, that's what's happening to our immune system. It's on that high alert. It's barking at things, whether they're friend or foe.
Mhm.
So how do we, return the body to a state where it's back to calm and it's tolerating things again. And it's a process.
It is. There's
It's not just one thing.
Mhm.
And I
And
and
it's
I
not a
think,
quick switch.
No.
yeah, and I think our society, right? Like, well, just tell me what to do. And I'm like, well, we can work on things, but this takes time.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And,
And you
you
don't want to
know,
do it all at once because that would be another threat to the body
Right.
if you're
right.
suddenly making a lot of changes. Yeah.
And with anything, it just takes time to get a handle on it,
Hmm.
right? Like one thing you want to make a priority, well, it's going to take you about a month to make that a priority.
Right. And
Mhm.
sometimes longer. I mean, sometimes there's
Hmm.
things your body is reacting to that it shouldn't be. But
Oh,
in the
yeah.
meantime, you have to help restore that capacity. And part of that is making sure the alarms are off, right?
Hmm.
You're not going to be able to fix anything when all the alarms are off. So we
Mhm.
need to remove the triggers, get all the alarms down so we can actually hear what the body's trying to communicate without all that roar from the immune
Mhm.
system. So there are temporarily things, and my clients hate hearing it, but temporarily removing dairy and gluten
Mhm.
is huge for autoimmune clients. And sometimes we have to go even further and remove all grains because
Hmm.
the grains look a whole heck of a lot like the gluten.
Hmm.
And when
Right.
the body's in that, oh my gosh, everything's a threat state, it's all
Mhm.
of them. It doesn't matter. It resembles that vaguely, so I can't have it. And until we get that calm back and we rebuild that immune tolerance, yeah, there's going to be some things that people need to let go of. But that immune interface happens in the gut. And over the next few weeks, we're going to really dig deep into why that is, and break it down for people.
Worth
So,
checking in because this is going to be a good conversation.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, Next week, we're going to move from defining exactly, what the loss of tolerance is, and really dig deep into the gut and why so much of the activity and things that um, happen in the gut, and give you a little bit more information on that piece. So,
Mm.
all right, guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks everyone for listening in, and we'll see you next week on Thursday at 3.
All right. Bye.